This is quite a story. 3 women are now facing theft charges for reportedly stealing nearly 40 Donald Trump signs along a road in Maine. One of the women admitted to taking the signs in an op-ed in the Washington Post. 52-year-old Betta Stoddart writes that she's not the law-breaking type, but Trump's talk about women pushed her over the edge. It reads, quote, reflecting back, I realized that I momentarily snapped, but there was a deeper reason for my anger than just the signs. Over the past several weeks, grasping the depth of Trump's predatory behavior towards women throughout his adult life, and even worse, his denial of it, has simply become unbearable. I became unhinged. Brian Claypool is a criminal defense attorney. Bob Bianchi is a criminal defense attorney, former head county prosecutor, trial attorney. I gave it a little drama because I felt like I needed it. I think that's what she would say. The question is whether or not it's legal. So let me just, for our viewers who did not actually read this column, the cops stopped these 3 moms on the side of the road in their Jetta, where they had the signs in the back. And he's like, what are you doing? They explain. He says, you can't do that. He takes the signs. And the next day, he goes to this woman's house and says, listen, the guy who owned the signs is pressing charges against you. And here's your day in court. Bob, does the owner of the signs have a case?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but we have to use the rule of reason and be a little tempered with this. There is no question about the fact these signs are expensive. In fact, it's property. It was stolen or destroyed. So it clearly is a crime, a very minor crime. But as a former county prosecutor, I can tell you I was in charge of elections, and this sign stealing thing goes on all the time. I remember one time when they took a bunch of Democratic signs and put it on Planned Parenthood's lawn. So look, you got these soccer moms in this car, the getaway car, they do this. Listen,
is it dead of night, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, is it prosecutable? Yes, but I think the prosecutor is going to be reasonable with this.
Wait a minute, Bob, let me just, because you have experience with this, I have to ask you, we're seeing some file video. She describes the signs as being alongside what is comparable to Main Street. And so the median, she was explaining it as, these are on the side of the road. Does it matter where the signs are placed? And if it's in a public area where no one necessarily owns that piece of the road, does that mean it's fair game, or is it still protected property?
It's still protected property. Listen, if anybody has a problem out there with these signs or something that they think is inappropriate, the response is to call the law enforcement authorities and let them take that. You just don't destroy the signs and take them. And let's face it, they told you that they did this for a different reason. I mean, part of it was where they were placed, but the other part of it was that they became unhinged because of Donald Trump. Well, it's a crime.
I'm curious, Brian, she felt assaulted by the sheer number of signs. That's part of her defense in this op-ed. What about that argument, Brian?
Well, Jenna, I'm kind of wondering whether there's going to be a WikiLeaks email soon on the Hillary Clinton campaign putting her up to this, or possibly some surveillance video talking about that. And wait a minute, I mean, is the election rigged? Everybody made fun of Trump, but did somebody put her up to that? Let's assume that somebody didn't put her up from the Hillary Clinton campaign. She has a potential defense, and I know it sounds kind of odd, but remember that Twinkie defense many years ago? But I would call this the Access Hollywood diminished capacity defense.
Right.
This woman you're talking about, she had commented about how 10 years ago, 15 years ago, she was not assaulted by a donor, but she was flown around the country for sexual favors. Okay,
let me just explain.
And she felt
what
compelled.
She says is that this was a trigger for her because there was a man in a powerful position once who propositioned her. Nothing happened, and he kind of pulled it back, but she felt that it triggered her.
Yeah, listen, I like Brian. He's a great defense lawyer, but that defense will never work because she clearly, purposefully, and knowingly did it.
Okay, let me ask you this question, Bob.
Bob, wait.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
I mean, realistically, for a woman, she felt like she had to keep this silent, Jenna, for over a decade. Then Trump comes out on the Access Hollywood tape. This re-triggers the trauma that she's been suffering for over a decade.
In court?
Pardon me?
Couldn't we all be triggered by something then, and then get out of any crime that we commit?
Look, like Bob said, I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I got to do the best I can with this.
Very good.
I mean, I know I know it's pie in the sky, but I'm doing my best.
But you know where Brian's defense makes sense in the real world of criminal prosecution is while it's not a legal defense, it's something that the prosecutor is going to take into consideration about how to resolve the case.
You know, I'm going to end with this. I just wonder if it wasn't 3 moms in a Jetta taking Trump signs, but it was 3 dads in a pickup truck taking Clinton signs if this story was being covered somewhat differently. So something to think about. Brian, Bob, we raise the question, then we go to commercial. It's nice to have you both. We'll be right back with more Happening Now.
Thank you.